Okay, I hope everyone's well. Thank you for coming. There are a lot of people here today, which is amazing. It shows really positive things. As Rachel has mentioned, I'm a farmer. I'm the co-owner of Feel Good Farms, which is located in Cache Bay. I'll talk about that a bit later, get ahead of myself. Co-owner because I own it with my partner Ryan. And I'm going to be talking to you today about our journey to the good life. So a little bit about our farm. Like I mentioned, Ryan and I own it. It's a labor of love that we started in 2011 after having a really amazing experience at an internship at Dayloo Farms in 2010. It's located at 1345 Levac Road, so that's an hour east of here, just outside of Cache Bay, and it's where my family settled in the late 1800s. So it's definitely been a labor of love for that reason, definitely full circle. The main thing we do are vegetables. We farm vegetables. I would say 80 to 90% of our time is dedicated to growing vegetables. That's a picture of Ryan at the farmer's market in North Bay. The other thing, the 20 or 10% we do extra are raising chickens. And we have two different kinds of chickens, some for laying eggs and some meat birds, and they're both pastured during the warmer months, which is a fancy way of saying they have access to grass and bugs and all that fun stuff that makes them healthier. Why we farm, this is kind of a funny thing, because when we started thinking about farming, we wanted to talk to our family about it first, and we expected people to be like, no, don't do that. And they didn't, which they probably should have in retrospect. But we have this really romantic idea of farming, which is true, but not for the same reasons why we think it's romantic. When Ryan and I decided to take on this project, we went through our needs. We did a needs assessment, so to speak. And we based ourselves on what we understood needs to be. Now, if anybody took psychology, they'll recognize a lot of these as part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The first four are basic needs, so right at the bottom of that, of the pillar, so to speak, or the pyramid. So the very most important things in order to live. And then the relationships is the next thing up. It's not part of the basic needs, but it's just as critical. So when we were thinking about farming, we went through these needs and said, okay, food. Is that something we can get? Yes, absolutely. We can get it through growing food, obviously. Water. Well, we're very blessed to be in a situation where we have access to fresh water in North America, I would say. So that was something we can get as well. Rest, absolutely. I mean, when you work really hard, you sleep really well. It's a given fact. So that's something else that we got. Shelter, we were lucky enough to be able to rent where I grew up. My aunt currently owns it now. My parents moved into the family farm. So we're able to rent that. So we have shelter as well. Okay, check it off. And relationships was something that we were kind of unsure about because farming is a really intensive thing. The proof is I can't stay till past 6:30 this evening because I have to go take care of my 187-day-old chicks and close up the greenhouse. So that's something that we were afraid of, but we were able to do it. Wonderful, good friends through the market and everything else. But Ryan and I also need happiness. We're very curious people, so we're always in pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. Health was really important to us. Freedom. So happiness was dealt with. That was wonderful. We were doing something that we were yearning to do, so great. Knowledge. When you're a farmer, you are so much more. You fix tractors. You're a biologist. You're a weatherman. So that was definitely something that we could address as well. And wisdom is something you learn through working in the field for a long enough time. When you do, this morning I had to do 20,000 onions, plant 25,000 onions. And through that process, you meditate and you become wise on this idea and this notion of work. So I think we got that, but I'm still looking forward to being more wise in my older years. I don't think I'm quite there yet. Health is obviously a given. When you're a farmer, you have to be healthy. I have to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and I gotta be ready to go. And again, through eating the produce that we grow, we end up being healthy. So again, something that we were able to address. And freedom. And this is the one that I love the most. We're our own bosses. And all of those ethics that were instilled in us, we're able to put those into action now. So I don't have to say, oh, well, I'm not really comfortable using this pesticide. I'm free to just decide not to use it. So we don't really need anything else. We've got everything we need. Objects or money don't correlate with happiness. There's studies made at Harvard, for instance, and every time they always come up with that same thing. Money doesn't equal happiness. When I have everything I need, I can work for very little money. And then that means I can do what I love. I don't know why. I guess I had rehearsed timings to make sure I didn't go over time. So essentially, if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a dancer, if you want to be a farmer and make little money, but you make sure that everything you need in life, those basic needs are met, you can do what you love. And there's nothing more precious than that. And that allows you to have a positive influence on the world. I don't feel the need to go buy designer clothes at the store. As a matter of fact, I can't remember the last time I bought a new item of clothing. Everything I have is either a hand-me-down or I get it at a thrift store, and even then I don't do it very often. So I'm not getting stuff shipped in from areas where people might be living in conditions that are really unsafe for them. And that's just one example. But we end up through this discernment of I'm not taking more than I should in order to live on this planet. It just has an amazing effect on everything else. And it's that focus on basic needs and aspirations that allows you to make those decisions. I was working a government job before I became a farmer, very lucrative one at that. I had full benefits. That's what people expected from me, so I did it. But I was unhappy. There was a lot of yearning within me that wasn't being fulfilled. So I can attest to having gone from a $50,000 government job with full benefits to probably $500 doing farming, much happier now. Much, much happier now. And then, through speaking with my grandmother, who is my idol, she's wonderful, she's amazing. She can turn just a little tiny something into something magnificent, and I think that's something that you can see from previous generations. And I think that tells us something. If we take a page out of a history book or talk to the elderly, we'll find out there are ways of doing it. They were doing it back then. They were living the good life. Not everything was peachy keen, but I don't think anything is supposed to be peachy keen. I think it's the moments where I'm so thirsty I could drink blue-green algae that I really appreciate water. Water now has taken a whole new dimension for me. I drink it, it's like nectar. It's so lovely. I appreciate it so much more. So I don't pollute the water. I appreciate the water. Same thing with food. When I eat that lettuce that I picked out of my greenhouse today at lunch, I appreciate that lettuce so much more. And I think that's part of it. Hardships aren't really hardships. Work can have a positive connotation. We don't have to get home at the end of the day and be like, oh goodness, I had a bad day. You know, we can control that. So thank you for listening to my, I guess, 8-minute rant. And I hope to have inspired you a little.